Hey guys, Steven here back with another video, and today I'm going to show you how I color grade in Final Cut Pro. This is going to be super basic. If you are looking for a really advanced one, this is not the video for you. This is just going to show you how you can actually find the color grading system, and this is for like more people who are making like YouTube videos or simple videos and just need a simple color grade. So what I've noticed is that I really only use color board and color wheels, and most people will just be fine with color board. Color board adjusts basically the contrast and brightness levels. Color wheels is where you sort of add additional color. So I'm going to go ahead and add color board because I feel like most people are just going to use this. You want to go to exposure, and right here, this is where you adjust the brightness and exposure levels. For example, if you adjust the shadows up or down, it'll create some contrast. So here you can sort of lower it, and what this causes is it'll adjust all the darker areas of this video. It'll make them even darker. And by lifting it up, it does the opposite. It makes all the darker parts of the video brighter. So if you do want to add contrast to like a flat clip, you could do this and then just increase like the highlights. So the highlights is like my skin, like this logo, maybe part of the background, maybe part of my wall because it is like a brighter color. And the midtones is everything in between. So you can think about shadows as like the blacks in your video. You can think of midtones as the grays in your videos. And you can think of highlights as the whites in your videos. And then you can also adjust the master, which will adjust all of them equally, up or down. But right there, we basically added some contrast levels. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them side by side so you can see the difference later on. Next is saturation, and basically it does the same things. So if you were to adjust the highlights, so the saturation of the highlights, how vibrant they are, you would be adjusting the skin tones, right? So if I increase the highlights here, you can see my skin tone gets a lot more saturated, my lips get redder, my face gets more orange. Same thing with midtones. It depends on your skin tone, of course, but for me, midtones would also be considered my skin tone. So you can see if I lower it or increase it, you don't want to go too extreme. A lot of times color grading should be simple. And then lastly, for shadows, you can see my background's very, very sort of like dull in color. And that's actually what's going to be considered the shadows. This is the darkest areas of my video. And you can see if I increase it, you can see the red pops out now, which it didn't before. So if we're doing a before and after so far, this is what it looks like. We really added some contrast in color. And then as for color, it's also going to do the same thing. So let's just say you want your highlights to be a little bit more green. You would sort of like move it around. So if you're looking for like the Joker look or something like that, you would move it more toward green. But a lot of times your color balance in your camera is going to be sufficient. And if you're just making YouTube videos, ideally, you would want the highlights just to be white, and right now it looks white, so I think we're good here. But if you do notice that your video is a little bit more cold like this, and maybe you want it to be like a warmer tint, you can always adjust that. So I wouldn't be adjusting these colors unless you really want to adjust the specific colors or different areas of your video. As for color wheels, it basically just does what this color section does, but a little bit more advanced. So we don't necessarily have to adjust that, but you can do the very same things. And for color curves, this is another way you can add sort of contrast and brightness. You can see if we adjust the curves, it does very similar things to what we did in the exposure tab. So really, all you really need is the color board, for most people at least. But for example, for more like advanced color graders, you can adjust the red channels, the green, the blue, and it gives you a little bit more like flexibility to do that. And lastly, there's hue and saturation curves, which basically allow you to adjust any single color. So let's just say you don't like how the color of your lips are. What you would do is you would go to the eyedropper tool, or you could just sort of like eyeball the color. You're going to select on the color of your lips right here. So right here, I have red selected. And if I just pull it down, it adjusts the color of my lip. So I could turn it green. So basically, this section changes the hue, and the hue is like the sort of like color. So I'm going to reset it, but this could be used for, let's just say, the color of like trees to be a certain green, or maybe you want to turn it purple, or you want to turn someone's eye different color. A lot of times you can do this with hue. Saturation is just adjusting the saturation of a certain color, and then luma is adjusting the certain luminance or brightness of a specific color. So this would be used once again if I want to change like my lip color. Let's just say it's a little bit desaturated. If I wanted to increase it, I would just lift it up. So you want to actually make 3 points, and then you want to lift up the middle one, which would correspond to your color. So here, I would just lift this up. So if I wanted it to be more saturated, I would just make 3 points and then move up the middle point. But you can see the before and after right here. Before here, it's really dull colors. You can't even see the color of my lip really. In this particular clip, my sweater is supposed to be green, but you won't be able to see it unless you color grade it and add some color to it. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it helped you out. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. My name is Steven, and I'll see you in the next one.